A very good morning. It's time for Times TV News with me, Florence Smiley. First, the headlines. President Chakwera calls for implementation of development projects. Politicians told to stick to campaign promises once voted into office. In other news, a social analyst faults MEC on electoral process. We have these and other stories. Please stay with us. President Lazarus Chakwera has called for action in the implementation of development projects, pointing out that mere rhetoric is killing the nation's development ambitions. Chakwera said this during Reserve Bank of Malawi's 60th anniversary commemorations held at Bingu International Convention Center in Lilongwe. More in this report by Kingsley Jassy.
The report was launched in Lilongwe on Thursday and was supported by NCA DCA, Oxfam, Save the Children and Malawi Economic Justice Network as part of their fight against inequality. The report says wealth inequality is even starker, with the bottom half owning just 4% of the total wealth, while the top 10% holding 61%. Delivering a keynote address during the launch of the report, Economics Association of Malawi President Bertha Chigadza described the report as a magnifying glass and a moral litmus test that reveals that we have created an economy that works brilliantly for a few and barely at all for the many.
The report actually indicates that inequality in Malawi is coming from decisions, policy decisions, because if we look at how we allocate the budget, we are actually making sure that inequality persists. It is a structural issue because we are totally dependent on agriculture, and it's just the farming that we are doing there is also that we are just not for exports, but something that we're just eating as a country. And so when we look at the prices that those maybe produce tend to get, they are actually controlled on the market, and most of the times they affect even the farmers. And at that point in time, we are still perpetuating the inequality.
Deputy Director of Social Welfare responsible for social cash transfer, Laurent Kansinjiro, said the findings of the report are crucial in developing programs to address inequality in the country.
Yeah, what we have picked is that, especially as government, is that there is high inequality indeed, which translates into many people being vulnerable, many people being marginalized. And so basically what it's telling us, we still have people that are poor, people that are marginalized, and that require support and assistance. And us from the Social Welfare Department Cash Transfer Program, in particular, our interest is that to what extent is our program trying to address that, and precisely that's what the Cash Transfer Program and other social protection interventions are trying to do, to try to tackle poverty, marginalization, as well as vulnerability.
Commenting in the report, Margin Board Chairperson Bishop Martin Mtumbuka said Malawi's tax
President Chakwera hailed the central bank for being resilient in the fight against the prevailing economic drawbacks, stressing that his government will continue to provide necessary support to bring stability. He cited high inflation and shortage of forex as major highlights in recent years of the bank's reign, and called for the central bank to ensure it remains relevant in the evolving global economic terrain. In his remarks, the central bank governor, McDonald Mafutamwale, said the bank has taken the opportunity of the anniversary celebration to discuss the economy, and the event attracted top private sector representatives and foreign central bank officials to reflect on how to shape the economy better.
We have been a central bank in Malawi for 60 years. That's not a joke. We have gone through shocks, through challenges, but as I always say, the most beautiful part of the story is that the central bank has really remained resilient on its mandate, which is price and financial stability.
RBM started operations in 1965, taking over from Central Bank of Rhodesia after Malawi's independence, and has been at the helm of financial sector regulation.
Vice President Michael Usi has asked fellow politicians to ensure that they adhere to what they promised Malawians through their manifestos. Speaking as president of the Ojazaki Alibe Mlandu party, Usi lamented the culture of dumping manifestos after elections. Chimunu Maseko has more in this report read by Sam Kalimira.
Usi said this during a whistle-stop tour he conducted on Thursday in Mzimba district. He said there is a need to overhaul the civil service as some people are sabotaging the government.
Significant number are sabotaging government programs just because they have some political affiliations and they want to show that government is not performing. It is very important, very critical, that those that are not performing must be dismissed. Those that are stealing must be arrested. And if there are any foreigners that are conniving for Malawians to corrupt or to steal from Malawi, they should be deported.
When asked about the possibility of partnerships ahead of the September 16 elections, Usi said discussions are underway, leaving the door open for potential collaborations. According to the party's organizing secretary Norman Nyirenda, their focus is on developing effective plans to drive progress and ensure smooth project implementation. Nyirenda noted that most of the projects failed to materialize because of broken government systems that need to be changed.
There's money that is given for several projects, but these projects are still at a standstill. If you follow these things properly, you discover that somebody sitting somewhere in Capitol Hill didn't do his job properly.
Ojazaki Alibe Mlandu party was registered early last month.
Social commentator Mavuto Bamusi says Malawi Electoral Commission, MEC, should commence the nomination process after Parliament has been dissolved. This, he says, will create a level playing field for all candidates. Daniel Zimba reports.
Before the Malawi Parliament is dissolved on July 23 ahead of the general elections on September 16, 2025. Deputy Clerk of Parliament Geoffrey Mwenyeheri has confirmed that Parliament will be dissolved next week, stressing that even after the dissolution, members of Parliament are still considered in office until they are succeeded after the pause. Commenting on the matter, analyst Mavuto Bamusi feels the situation creates room for unfair disadvantages, especially in favor of candidates serving as members of Parliament or government ministers.
My suggestion is that there should come a time when we should relook at our electoral laws, such that the elections calendar should happen in a manner that when the parliamentary candidates are going to collect their nomination papers, that should be the time when the parliament should be dissolved. That should be the time also when cabinet should be dissolved.
MEC officials are yet to comment, but its chairperson Annabel Mtalimanja has previously assured the public that the commission will proceed collecting back nomination papers from aspiring candidates after the parliament's dissolution.
The High Court in Lilongwe says it will deliver its ruling within 60 days in a matter concerning a decision made by the Magistrate Court regarding the leader of the Enlightened Christian Gathering Church, Shepherd Bushiri, and his wife Mary. The South African government wants the two extradited to answer charges bordering on financial crimes. Judge Mzonde Mvula will deliver the judgment. Mercy Matonga reports.
Submitting his arguments in the court, which he said are 15, Ikita, among others, faulted the ruling by lower court, citing the evidence that was presented as not substantial.
The law requires to give a reasoned decision. So we raised on the number of issues which we raised. So remember, we raised the issue about authentication. we raised about the issue of ESA, the issue about whether the witness was competent. She never made a decision on all those issues. When the law requires her to make a decision, a reasoned decision. So we're saying she erred by not doing that. We're saying she erred to make a decision to extradite Mary Bushiri on account of forgery related to migration offences. When that offence is nowhere found in the extradition docket, we don't know where it is coming from. So and that's the only one which she's answering.
In his arguments, State Advocate Zikondi Malunda said the authenticity of the evidence raised by the defense should not be considered, as the issues pointed out were merely minor errors.
On our part, similarly, you also noticed that in as much as we were asking the High Court to confirm the ruling of the lower court, we also had some parts which we are not comfortable with, and we are also asking the High Court to take into consideration some of those issues that we thought the lower court should have taken into consideration. For example, we can cite maybe the issue of the rape charges. There were some rape charges that were left out by the lower court in its ruling.
The hearing follows a 30-day suspended ruling by High Court Judge Madaritso Chimwaza in the Magistrate Court, who in March this year ruled that out of 10 charges the two were facing, there was sufficient evidence in the 3 cases. Chimwaza ruled that Bushiri should answer rape charges based on the 3 of the 8 complaints, and together with his wife answer the 2 other offences.
Police say they have reduced criminal cases occurring in the central region from 6,626 last year to 6,423 in the first half of this year. The police made the announcement on Friday during a stakeholders meeting held in Lilongwe. The Commission's Deputy Commissioner, Valley Felix Piri, said they are targeting to record less cases with the measures that they have put in place.
For Kabaza operators who will be going flat out on the ground, so that we must civic educate them on the need of following the road traffic regulations, so that they must exercise due care for other road users. Otherwise, if they don't exercise due care to other road users, that's why we experience high number of cases concerning the road accidents in terms of Kabaza operators.
Meanwhile, Regional Executive Committee Chairperson for the Central West Region, Alex Jabondela, has asked the police to work without favoritism during the campaign period.
I encourage the police officers to maintain their professionalism, because as much as you know, this period we go for elections is a very crucial period. So I advise the Secretariat to make sure that there is a neutral in all of their endeavors. Because if they are partisan, that means we'll face a very difficult situation.
Malawi is set to take center stage in Africa's water and sanitation sector as it prepares to host the 95th Conference of African Water and Sanitation Association, AFWASA. The high-level conference will be led by the Association's Strategic and Technological Council. Our reporter Clever Mwale has the details.
Speaking on Thursday at a media briefing in Lilongwe, Chief Executive Officer of Lilongwe Water Board, Sili Mbewe, described the conference as a significant platform for Malawi to demonstrate its leadership in climate resiliency and green economy practices within the water sector. He urged both the public and private sectors to seize the chance by participating and sponsoring the event, saying it will open doors for local businesses and professionals to exhibit their services and solutions to a continental audience.
Some of the products were partnered, as we said, with the other ministries like the Ministry of Trade, where we have our SMEs that also be there, showcasing within their pavilions what we as a country can again export. We have these SMEs under the Buy Malawi campaign, so again it's an opportunity for us.
Prince Muleta, who represented the Ministry of Water and Sanitation, believes that the upcoming conference will help Malawi in reaching its sustainable development goals.
We see it as an important community and platform for people to showcase ideas and papers which will be shared as we move on with issues of water supply and sanitation, to make sure that service delivery is always at its best.
The AFASA meeting, which runs under the theme Green Economy and Climate Resilience in Africa, is expected to run from July 21 to 24 at the Bingu International Convention Center in Lilongwe and will host over 200 people from over 20 African countries.
You're watching Times Morning News and we'll be back after this.
My bridal shower. That special day that every woman has her moment to dazzle. On this memorable day, every woman wants to wear that outfit that will make her shine. For my special day, only Sunshine Soap can bring out that special shine in the fabric that leaves a lasting impression.
Gwiritsani ntchito Sunshine Soap matsiku omwe mufuna kuwala.
Calling all proud alumni of the University of Limpopo, formerly the University of the North, and Medusa, now living in Malawi. Yes, you heard right. Are you a graduate of the former University of the North, now known as the University of Limpopo in South Africa, and currently based in Malawi? We are reaching out to connect with you. We're excited to announce plans for the launch of the University of Limpopo Malawi Alumni and Convocation Chapter. And to make this a success, the University of Limpopo Alumni and Convocation Office is updating alumni records. So, let's connect. Kindly update your details to help the University of Limpopo Alumni and Convocation Office to keep you engaged and informed as we build a strong alumni community in Malawi. To do that, please send your contact details to Ms. Mohadi Malemela. Email mohadi.malemela@ul.ac.za. So, let's connect and be part of our growing alumni network. University of Limpopo, finding solutions for Africa.
In business news, National Bank of Malawi Pension Administration Limited and National Bank Capital Markets have announced that NPM Unrestricted Pension Fund has achieved a 34.5% investment income for the year 2024 against an average inflation of 32% for that year. Officials of the two sister companies, which are subsidiaries of NPM PLC and offer pension administration and asset management services, revealed this during a pension engagement forum held in Lilongwe. Pempelo Malimba reports.
The National Bank of Malawi Pension Administration Limited Chief Executive Officer William Mabulekese described the achievement as a real return, adding that the unrestricted pension fund is currently at 120 billion kwacha with 108 employers across the country.
I always keep on giving an example of the interchange. Pension funds are located in there. There are buildings mushrooming up in town, in cities. Part of them, there are pension funds located in there because they are long-term in nature. So there is maturity matching long-term and investments of long-term horizon in nature.
National Bank of Malawi Capital Markets Limited Business Development Manager Nenaute Nkuruma said despite the country's market facing high inflation and borrowing rates, the company is geared to grow people's pension funds.
Us as NBM Capital Markets, we make sure that we beat these factors that tend to pull us back and not be able to give you the better returns for your investments.
One of the participants of the seminar, HLO Group Pension Fund Principal Officer John Masanjara, described the seminar as insightful. The seminar, which is an annual event, was aimed at highlighting key pension developments in the just ended year 2024, promoting efficiencies in pension administration and assuring clients of competitive, sustainable investing amid economic uncertainty.
United General Insurance Company has donated medical supplies and equipment at Gantegeta health center in Mzimba district worth 4.5 million kwacha. Among others, the insurance company donated mattresses, drip stands and blankets, and UGI Chief Executive Officer Grant Munyechanya says the donation was part of their corporate social responsibility. Speaking after receiving the donation, Mzimba District Medical Officer Angel Mongolo said many of the health facilities in the district are struggling with outdated infrastructure and inadequate medical equipment, and UGI's donation has come in handy.
The Health Sector Strategic Plan 3 is the guiding document that is helping us in terms of implementation of health interventions. So it has 9 pillars, and one of the pillars is to do with medical equipment, health technologies, and medical products in short. So this is a wide array of medical equipment ranging from lab, radiology, as well as including beds and mattresses to be used by the patients, because as a health system to function efficiently, there is need to have a well-equipped health facility. We do have challenges with medical equipment, including hospital beds and mattresses. However, we have also a lot of partners as well that are helping us, because for us to achieve the health sector strategic plan, we are also reliant on several partners. So UGI in this scenario has come in clutch to help us with such a donation.
That's the news, but before we go, the headlines again. President Chakwera calls for implementation of development projects. Politicians told to stick to campaign promises once voted into office. And in other news, social analyst faults MEC on electoral process. You can get more on these and other stories by visiting www.times.mw, on our Facebook page, Times 360 Malawi, X at Times 360 Malawi, and by subscribing to 1895 by dialing *1895#. I am Florence Mwale.
Yatsani moto, ikani poto, DP can see my Ufawa sunshine, man passam pava mai. GM sa pigile wina, munga di kwete kese mima. Ebola sunshine, kuwala twan, looking so fine, kukuta pam. Ufawa sunshine, ndikawawa. Ufawa sunshine, ndikawawa, ndinyatwa.
Hi friend, where are we going today?